Hey everybody, welcome back to Koi Pond Lifestyle. So what have we got on today? Filters. Since I made a number of changes to my filter system over the winter period, I've put out a number of videos that I'll probably post up here every time I do it. I think it's there. It's there. I'll post some videos if you want to see those. There's a section of 3 or 4 videos that I just sort of documented on how I made some changes to my Cockney Koi 10,000 Multibay filter system. So I've had a number of people asking, okay, so you've done your changes now, how are they working and how are you cleaning it and so on and so forth. So I thought I'd do a quick video. It's done over a number of days that I kind of do. I'll explain all that in the video anyway. So, but I mean, it says the filter system itself, I've always said is the heart and lungs of my pond. When I first started doing pond keeping, I was given that note of advice that you're a water keeper. Always remember you're a water keeper. You're not a fish keeper. You look after the water and make sure the water is the best it can be for the fish. The fish will look after themselves. Okay, you may need to step in every now and again if there's an ailment or if there's an issue with the fish themselves. So you'd sort of help manage the fish, but you don't look after the fish. You look after the water. And these filter bays, filter systems, UV systems, backy showers, the lot, are there to improve the water quality of your pond and give the best environment you can to your fish. So, my filter system itself, how do I manage the filter system? I'll show you. So there we go, my filter bay comprises of stop valve, that's the main one from the pond, so water comes in through here into what used to be the vortex. People are saying it's not a vortex now because I've put these brushes on. Yeah, fair enough. Put 3 brushes in now that I'm trying for this summer. That then runs into the next bay, which is another bay full of brushes. Then leads on to a moving bed of KK1000. This, now don't confuse this with the K1 or the K1 Plus or whatever, different product this. This is a Cockney Koi product again. I seem to use a lot of Cockney Koi products. I think it's because my supplier uses a lot of Cockney Koi as well. So here we've got the main bay that is bubbling away quite nicely. This is something I'm trying for this summer to see if it works, or if it doesn't, if it does, or it doesn't, I don't know. Then the next bay along is Jack matting, which is under here, under the filter floss, which is there. But I run this filter floss as another means of just catching some fines, which kind of leads on to the last bay. Because the last bay itself is the foam bay. Now, a lot of people say you got these wrong way around, mate. You should have your foam somewhere here or there, and then your final bay for polishing at the end. Maybe. Just I'm trying at the moment, but yeah, at the moment, yeah, I'm wondering, does that need to be there and that need to be there? I'm sure you got your own thoughts there with that one, but anyway. So yeah, so under there, Jack matting, and then all in there is the foam. So how often should I clean my filters then, Andy? I hear you say. I heard you say that. I'll tell you anyway. I don't know. It all depends on your own filter system. It depends how big your pond is, I suppose. It depends how much you're feeding your fish. It depends on what filters you've got. These multi-bays take a little bit more TLC than the other brands. It all depends on your system and how you run your system. For example, I will clean my biological side of the system a lot less than the mechanical side of it. The mechanical side is just grabbing the poo and the waste that comes out the pond and chucking it in here, and I'll clean that a lot more often because it needs more clean. It needs more cleaning on that side. Whereas I try to keep the beneficial bacteria and where all the proper media is. And I mean, you'll see today I don't hardly touch that. I just sort of rinse and water through it, but you'll see that later on. So the answer to the question is, how often do you do yours? How often do you do yours? Comment below. You tell me, and let's share this with everybody, because there might be other people out there with systems like you who are going, how often should I do my system then? Comment below. So I do a lot of my cleaning in stages in this filter. I don't do it all at once because I personally believe doing it all at once is a bit too much for your filters to handle. At this time of year, I mean, I'm making this video in April, which is when the filters are trying to get themselves back up to speed again after winter. And yeah, they are struggling. I tried to do it all naturally without putting any additives in, the pond gel and the bacteria balls. I tried to leave them out, no chance. No, I needed to give them some help. So I put that in a few weeks ago, And you know, I'm still getting my nitrite levels at sort of a low to medium. So nitrite is in the pond, which is not what I want. So I'm having to WAS water changes at the moment to try to bring those nitrite levels back down again. So I try to do these in stages. I'll probably try to do maybe 2 bays at once. So I'll do 2 bays and then another 2 bays and then the final bay, or I'll do 2 bays, the vortex, and then, so I try not to do them all at the same time. I try not to do them a complete wash through, because you could be washing away some beneficial bacteria, which I don't want to do. So let's start by isolating off the filter system. Right, so with the pumps running, pump, singular pump, we'll close off the main valve, there we go, to the pond. So pumps are still running now, because what I'm trying to do now is maximise the amount of water going into the pond. So you can see the line now is starting to go down as it's drawing water from here, but I'm not letting it back in, so it's now filling the pond. So any water I use is minimised because I'm putting a lot of it back in the pond. Okay, I'm right down on the bottom now, so I'm going to flick off the UV, flick off the pump and isolate. So the whole thing is now isolated. So my whole pond is now isolated. It's shut off at this end and it's shut off at that end. I've got no water going through, but I've still got the air going through the moving media. So first of all, we're going to do the vortex. Okay, we're all blocked off, water's down. Time to do the vortex first. Vortex is empty now, vortex is down, and we've still got the brushes in. So this is now my little cleaning station. So we just give them a bit of a rattle. Like I say, I've left this for a few more days than I'd usually do, but anyway, this is day 1. So, give them a shake. Get as much off as I can. And the last one. Good. So I try not to waste this, and while we're here, wash through with some clean water, and then I don't usually scrub the inside of the filter bay, apart from just a bit I can see because it looks a bit dirty. I really just clean what I can see, because you never know if you've got a bit of beneficial bacteria in the filter system that I don't want to clean off. So I just make it look a bit neater around the top. What I'll do with this water now is I'm going to put this on the garden. So I'm just going to grab some of that now, bucket that, stick it in the garden. Okay, so with the vortex empty, most of that's gone in the garden, which should be quite good, hopefully. I'm just going to give it a rinse. So open up the valve, let the water rush in, and purge the bottom drain. Now I've done this with the valve open, so that as it's coming in, it's going out again. Stop it there. Stop it just before it goes over. Yeah, plenty of waste in there, so I'm just going to close this. And I've got another tub full of water to put on the garden. So I've just washed it through twice now, and it's coming through clear water. So now the only thing to do is refill this, open the main valve, refill this, and it will fill over into the next bays, and then we'll do them another day. Anyway, let's fill this up. That's nice and clear now. There's not a lot of rubbish on that bottom drain anymore. However, still give me some little bits of sediment and stuff, so I always stick that barrier in, just hold it in place. So once I'm happy now that vortex has just sort of, I suppose you could call, got back to up to speed, which it is now. It's spinning around quite nicely. Put the brushes back. Middle one first. I am finding, a lot of people said that's what you do, it's a waste of time, it's no longer a vortex, is it? Well, maybe not. You're probably right, it's obviously not a vortex anymore now, it's just somewhere to catch rubbish, but it is catching a lot of rubbish in there that's saving me doing as much cleaning in the following bay. So for me, yeah, it's working quite well, to be honest. But there you go then, so that's the vortex. So next few days we'll do the next bays. Okay, it's now another day. So we're now going to look at doing, I'm going to move, basically systematically work along the filter system. So now I'm going to do bays 1 and 2. So Vortex was done the other day. We're now going to look at doing the brushes and the moving media. Okay, so first job we've got to do is get a bucket to put in the brushes. Let's capture some of this. It's fallen into the bay. Get back from whence you came. Anyways, I've got a bit of jack matting in here still, which was from that other bay. So I'm going to give that a shake. Just lay in that bay for a minute, I think. Look at all this KK1000 getting into here. That's interesting, isn't it? How it's getting through. I don't think I've got it all. Now I'm wondering, and again, this is one for the pond experts out there, if what I'm doing with my bubbling media here is similar. You know these vertical up filters at the moment that people are using? Is that serving the same thing? If I dump this water out of here now, which will take both bays out, but keep that bubbling, will that remove all the rubbish from there and drain it, doing, you know, the same thing? When these up filters have been emptied, they basically blow air through them and empty them, and then it sort of circulates all the rubbish to the bottom, and then is this doing the same thing, you think? I'm just wondering if it's the same thing. Anyway, let's dump the water out of here and then this one's done. Right, so this is at the bottom of the brushes bay, and you can see at the bottom there's also some media in there as well. So I'm just going to bucket this, and then I'll show you what I'm doing with the media, because it's all heading down the drain pipe, so I need to catch. Right, so as you can see, the media down there is there's still bits of it in there, and I've tried to pull a lot of it out. It's going down, you can see another one going in there. Gone. Oh, no, gone. Anyway, I'm going to chuck a bucket of water and I'll show you where I'm catching it. Right, I just took a bucket of pond water in there now, because now I could just keep flushing this through now until we get rid of all that stuff, all that muck at the bottom. We need to get rid of all that, so let's just keep bucketing it until it's all gone. Right, so yeah, losing media down the plug hole. So I'm just catching it again here. Here we are. I don't want that going down the drains, blocking up my drains, so I just catch it here, and I can go back in the filter system. Right, there we go, a couple of bucketfuls later. That's pretty much cleared it down there now. So let's go and get the other media from there and put it back in. Right, so because I've faffed around and I've dumped a load of water out of the moving media, I'm going to put some more, start to gel in, purely for the fact that I've kind of messed around with this a little bit and I could have lost some beneficial bacteria. So I'm just going to put that on there, and then when the water comes back in, I'm going to let it circulate first in the air pumps and then kick everything back in again. So let's get some water back in. Okay, let's just get the brushes back in first. Now I've got all the brushes back in, and what I usually do before I fire the water in from the pond, because I've still got the vortex full. I haven't done that vortex today because that was done the other day. So I've still got water in there, but I've no water in these bays. So before I lift up and start purging water through, I just put this little bit of a barrier thing in, which goes in between there, like this, and it really just catches any big bits that may wander through when I stick the pond back on. Like so, and then open the valve. Here comes the water. See, so any purged that's coming from the vortex now will get caught in there first and stop going through to the next bay, which is better. Okay, so now the water's back in. I'm just going to let it circulate around and bubble away quite nicely. Now I've put that beneficial bacteria in there while I'm topping up, and I'll probably do that for sort of next 15-20 minutes just to make sure that everything's nice and coated. And I'm going to leave the UV off until tomorrow morning now. I mean, the time now is about 5:20 on a Sunday afternoon, so I'm going to leave the UV off now until tomorrow morning so that the beneficial bacteria can rest wherever it wants to go. Right, what I've done is I found a little strainer end that I will be fitting onto the exit pipe in this bay I've just done, so that I no longer lose any media down the plug hole. Because that's not very good, is it? So I'm not going to put it in now because the water's back in now, but yeah, I've got this little plug thing and it'll fit quite nicely over the end, like my overflow, and this will stop the media going down the plug hole. Ka-ching! Result, everyday school day, except for that. Right, so the KK1000 has been bubbling away quite nicely with its additional beneficial bacteria poured in there as well. Done the vortex now, day 1. A few days later, we've now done bays 1 and 2. I'll call vortex, and then the next 2 bays 1 and 2. So 1 and 2 are now done. Minimum disruption to the moving media, and a shakeout of a bit of jack matting that was in with the brushes. So we've just got the next 2 bays to do. So next few days later, we'll do carry on with this video. Just another point before we finish the bays 1 and 2 is I've taken off the aquarium filter floss off top of the jack matting because I don't want any beneficial bacteria I've just put in the KK1000. If it does leak through into the jack matting, I don't want it to go onto the filter floss, because I rinse that out, wash it and whatnot. So for the next 12 hours I'm going to leave that out as well. So any that does come out of beneficial from there into the jack matting, we'll just line the jack matting, which is where I want it. That's fine. Right, here we go, another day, another dollar, as you can say. This time, we've, like I say, it's a week later after we've done the vortex now, we've done bays 1 and 2, we're going to do 3 and 4 now. 1 is housing beneficial bacteria, this is jack matting, this is where I put my filter floss in. And the other one is the mechanical, which is the sponges. So I think because the filters they're still trying to catch up, I've still got some nitrite levels in the pond that I'm trying to get rid of through water changes. You'll probably see me trickle in, trickle out, that's running at the moment. And also with doing this, I'm going to dump some water. So I've got to replace that, so that's another water change there. I'm going to start to bring the nitrite levels down. So today, I'm not going to take out the jack matting, and in fact, I'm not even going to shake it too much because I don't want to disturb any beneficial bacteria that's in there. I'm just going to basically chuck a bucket of pond water over the top of them, let that flush it through and do it that way. And then we'll chuck a pond bomb in as well. We've got 1 more left. So I'm going to chuck a pond bomb in just to give it a bit of a boost again because I've used a lot of water. So let's crack on and get these 2 bays done. Right, so first of all, we're going to start with this bay where we've got the filter floss. Now this is like this because I found some blanket weed in the pond, and I thought I'd catch it early, so I did a 1/4 dose, which seems to have sorted it. All the blanket weed's gone within a week, which is quite good. Well, so far so good. So this has got quite a lot of the blanket weed, cloverleaf stuff stuck in it, which is good. That's what I wanted to do. So this will come out and then we'll give the rest a go. So same again as every time, isolate that end, isolate the 4-inch at that end, and then we're going to just run the pump this end to bring the levels right down. So I'm got more water in the pond than I need, and it'll bring the levels right down so I can just clean these and not wasting too much water. Okay, so I brought this down now. I don't want to keep this out of water too long, so I should be doing this first and getting it back under water so that the beneficial bacteria can continue to do there. So I'm going to drain some of this water out of here. Just going to empty these off first. Right, so just got all the sponges out dead quick because I don't want to keep this out in the dry for too long. Dumped it down now, dropped all the water out, and I'm just going to chuck a couple of buckets of water over the top of this to flush through and give it a clean. I don't really want to take it out and disturb it too much in case there's any beneficial bacteria on there. So just take a couple of them. Yeah, see, it's quite a bit of rubbish on the bottom of them, so I'm going to get another one. So this is just pond water. Flushing it through. Lovely jubbly. I think I might just do another half bucket. Okay, we've flushed that through enough times I think now. Let's get it filled up again. Okay. I need to get this jack matting back under water as soon as I can. Don't want to faff around with that too much. So I've put back in the silk trap. This is now filling this up nicely. Now because these my two top layers, my finest sponge and the next one down is mechanical, I don't really mind how I clean these. I don't sort of try to keep beneficial bacteria on these. So with these two layers, I just wash them down with a hose pipe over the grass, waters the grass at the same time, all the rubbish that comes out of them, feeds the grass. Great, everybody's happy. The other two layers I'll wash in pond water, just in case, and then put them back in as soon as I can. So let's get these washed off. Okay, so all the sponges are nice and clean now. It's got to build them back in, get it turned back on again. These two are the ones that I didn't. I washed these in pond water basically. Sink them to the bottom. And the two coarse ones, because don't forget mine's upside down to everybody else's. So my coarse are at the bottom and my fine are at the top. Anybody new to the channel, if you want to look back on my videos, I'll put them up somewhere on how I made these changes, and I'm going to run them for this summer, and if they work, great. If they don't, then I'll change them. Let's get the others in. Okay, last few layers, medium coarse. Stick my end cap on, this also holds them in. Always put these two little stones in just to hold them down as well, because they've got a tendency to float a little bit. Okay, and we just got them to refill again. As soon as they're refilled, put the pumps back on, and away we go. Now, who doesn't love a bit of filter floss? I think it's ace. So I took the filter floss out before I did the bay over the top of the jack matting, and this was the floss that I took out. It's had a couple of goes now. It's had a couple of goes, bless it. I always give it 2 or 3 goes. But I would just cut another slice. Look how clean that is. So this gives you an idea what this filter floss picks up as it goes over the top of my jack matting. So this will now go in the bin. This will go back over the top of the jack matting and will serve as another where filtering fines or whatever is coming out the pond and coming through my filters. So I just tuck it under this lip here. I think I said this in the past, but anybody who's new to the channel, took the filter floss only on 3 sides. So as the water comes from this bay, the water runs over the top of the filter floss and then down the back, but it also goes through the filter floss as well, obviously. But if this starts blocking up, then the water will just go down the back anyway. But this seems to just catch the fines as they roll across the top. Roll. Across the top. So anyway, so yeah, so that's a new bit in, bin the old bit, everybody's happy. Anyway, don't knock it till you tried it. Every day's a school day. Ka-ching. That's another one that can start. Ka-ching. No, that's not annoying, that is. How annoying would ka-ching be? I don't know. So there it is, filter bay done, all washed. If there's anything you think I've missed or anything that you do different with your KK filter bay, your multi-bay, let me know, comment below. Because, you know, I do a lot of learning from you guys out there as much as me. I would like to say I've been ponds just over 18 months old now, so every day's a school day. If you can think of something that I haven't thought of, then let me know. If you think I'm doing something that maybe, oh, that's a bad idea, Randy, let me know. I don't knock it till I've tried it. And away we go from there. So thanks very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the button down below. Click the like if you've liked the video. Share to all your friends. Thanks very much for watching. This was Koi Pond Lifestyle.